First of all, I'd like to say good afternoon, and I'd like to welcome all of you members of the media, and also we have some of our community partners here, those with Habitat for Humanity and supporters of this administration in this great city of Flint. I'd like to welcome all of you to this afternoon's press conference. We're talking about how this administration is working every day to revitalize our city's neighborhoods. Now, in particular, we're standing here in an area today on Stockton and Fair Lane. You see there are some empty lots, which we're responsible for tearing down some houses that were on these lots, but we also see building. Habitat for Humanity has picked up several of these lots. You see one here to my right, and they're building a home here, just to show you that as we get rid of these properties, people and organizations are also reinvesting, and building is taking place as well. I have given members of the media a packet of information that includes what has happened here recently with a $10,000 grant from the Community Foundation of Greater Flint to help aid in support of our code enforcement program. That grant will enable that department to get supplies to do things that they need to continue along with their code enforcement. Also, you have a list of the properties that have been demolished in the city of Flint within the last month, since August the 5th, a total of 42, and you have a listing of those properties. And also you have a sampling of what our code enforcers and rental inspectors, what they use when they go out and do inspections on homes. You have a copy of that as well in your packet that shows things that they are looking for. Now, to date, I've been told since May, when the city instituted its comprehensive rental inspection program, there have been more than 450 inspections, and all of those inspections have netted in some citation. That program was started up again on May 18th, and we're happy to have with us this afternoon to explain more about the code enforcement and demolitions that are taking place in the city of Flint. We have our Public Works Director, Tom McCabe, and we also have the Transportation Development Superintendent, Kay Muhammad, who will be able to expound more on code enforcement and demolitions and the comprehensive rental inspection program. Before we bring them to the podium, I would like to bring the Honorable Mayor of this city, Dane Walling, to the podium to address members of the media and others who are gathered this afternoon.
Well, thank you. We are taking action every single day in our neighborhoods, and you can see from this spot all of the great things that we're accomplishing as a team of partners committed to this community. The city has been able to demolish old and vacant and abandoned structures that pose a threat to our public safety. Those have been knocked down. We have Habitat for Humanity, which is building new homes for our families right inside the city of Flint. We have the Community Foundation of Greater Flint supporting our rental inspection and code enforcement program so that every single residence that a family has in the city can be as safe and as healthy as possible. So we're working on every front. Now, you also know that we are putting in place long-term reforms. That part of the job that Tom McCabe, as Director of Public Works, is undertaking is the creation of a new Department of Neighborhood Services that will be able to provide integrated neighborhood services, the demolitions, the code enforcement, the rental inspection, as well as rapid mowing and trash and weed abatement. So we're working very, very aggressively on that long-term plan, but we're also taking action every single day and every single week to make this community more healthy and more economically viable and more safe. So I want to just add my personal congratulations and thanks to our partners. We mentioned Habitat for Humanity. We also have a few very active members of the Grand Traverse District Neighborhood Association, and that community participation is vital. We want our citizens involved in this work with public safety, with neighborhood revitalization. It's just, it's critical with everything that we do that our citizens are involved. Everything we accomplish at the city is because of taxpayers' support, and we need our citizens involved in all of our programs. So I want to give Tom McCabe first the opportunity to go into some detail about what we've been able to accomplish with that rental inspection program. That's where we started our code enforcement work in May. That's the focus that I've continued to have as mayor with the rental inspections, the demolitions, and making sure that we continue to work together to make these neighborhoods as safe as possible. So Tom.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd just like to start on demolitions right now. As Don Jones reported that we had 42 demolitions since August 5th in various wards of the city. And that's about averaging about 3 a day that we are able to accomplish with present crew and size and money being afforded us. And it is a vigorous program to get all sections of the city represented in our demolition program. With the monies that are available, we'll do as much as we can do. Now, I'd like to turn the rental inspection over to Kay Muhammad, who is directing that rental inspection program.
Thank you. Good afternoon. I'd like to say, well, Mr. McCabe has talked about demolition. And we think about demolition, we think about removing structures from a community that would be there available for its residents. But right now we are in the middle of revitalizing our neighborhoods through the enforcement of our rental inspection ordinance. This ordinance requires that all property owners who own rental property register those properties with the city. And what we do, we send out letters. We're not sending them to everyone in the city at one time because it would be impossible for us to respond to that need. But we are sending them out in various areas. And what we are asking from the public, when you receive that notification, that you respond to that letter. That letter will require you to come in and register your property. If your property is already registered, you do need to ensure that that property is inspected on a 3-year cycle. So when you receive those, please respond. And now, some of the concerns we've had are you're going to come out and inspect our property and you're just looking for everything and you're going to nitpick. We are going to look for everything that affects the health and safety and welfare of the public. We are looking to improve our housing stock, to ensure that every resident in this community is afforded safe and decent housing. So this is an ongoing process. We thank all of our partners that we have, including Michigan State Housing Development Authority, the City of Flint's DCED Department, and all of the other individuals who are complying and responding to our requests as we look to rebuild every community that we have. Each community, when I talk about a community, sometimes we have neighborhoods who say, this is my little community, but we all have to come together as one and do what we can, because we are here working for you to do everything we can through enforcement of the rental inspection ordinance. Thank you.
We'd also like to add for citizen benefit, if they have a complaint about something in their neighborhood, an abandoned property or a structure, that there's one call to City Hall. They can give City Hall a call, and that number is 766-7346. That is our citizen complaint number. And we encourage citizens to call City Hall and let us know of what your concerns are as it relates to things that are going on in your community. Again, that number is 766-7346. Right now we're going to open up for any questions from the media.
How long will that $10,000 last? And what will we use that this budget? And what will we be using for it, and how long will that last?
Now, the $10,000